Gonna have to lay down. You're gonna have to get down in a minute. Mm-hmm. Just a purring. And hello, anybody that's already here. I don't see anybody in chat yet. Oh, hi, Dawn. No, you can't have my bracelet. Fur. How you doing? Hi, Missy, Laverne. Hi, Linda. I messaged you. I don't know if you saw it. Did Tim get his disc? Keeks, Kristen, Cat. Good morning, Cat. Speaking of cats, this one needs to get down because I'm going to do pan pastels. Let's see, Keeks, Kristen. I'm trying to catch everybody. I'll zoom in when we start doing something here. I was moving over for Malibu. Yeah, I said it was delivered like Saturday. It came yesterday. Okay, all right. Okay, I hope he'll like it. I hope he'll like it, Linda. Let's see who else. Hi me. So we're gonna do some pan pastels. Some of the ladies are asking about some more tips, and you can go back and look at other videos that I've done. Let me get a sip of water. With pan pastels, there's a pan pastel playlist. So if you want to see all the stuff I've done with pan pastels, there is a playlist. Let me take a bite of my little fig Newton over here. Hi, Gina. Got to get my voice a rolling. Let's see. Hi, Janet. How you doing? Let's see. I think I've caught everybody so far coming in. Thanks everybody for being here. My nephew probably has. Okay. All right. That's all right. I'm just glad it got there safely. The mail these days, always glad when it arrives, Linda. Thanks, Tina. Tina coming in saying good morning to everybody, which helps me see if I've missed anybody. It helps to see if I've missed anybody. Hi, View. Well, View, I'm going to do some pan pastel tips and stuff. And I was just saying, too, I do have an actual playlist of pan pastels. Let's see. Terry Brett and Terry. Sorry, guys. Let me chew up this fig Newton before I choke. Let me go over to my pictures. I took a picture of Terry's prompt she finished. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna because I do want to color because I got my new pan pastels, the new 53 colors. I already had the basic, the other set, and then when I had the new 53 colors come out, I took me like 2 months to get it, and so I need to be using that thing because I really love it. So yeah, I'll show Terry's picture here in just a minute when more people come in. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Tina. Yeah, she put my playlist up there. I have a whole bunch of playlists. Pacola made me make some years ago. And I hope Pacola is doing well. She started traveling with her husband in the RV. And so I do check on her every now and then. I'll message her and, see if she's doing okay. Last I saw, she was. So I haven't talked to her for a bit, though. I should probably message her again. Let's see. So what's everybody else working on? Hi, Arlene. How you doing? Let's see. Scrolling. I got all my happy mail out. All Monday's giveaway of the ink, the what do they call it? Ink tracing pages that I we did a giveaway for. All went out yesterday. Am I back? I don't know what happened. It just, I got a message that my microphone is unplugged. Nothing was touched on the microphone. I don't know. I rebooted just to make sure. So sorry it took a minute, but we're back. We don't have too many technical difficulties anymore, but all right. So let me go ahead and start by showing the picture that I kept of Terry's. Let's see here. No, that's not it here. Hang on, let me get over to my photos. Here we go. So Terry did the prompts, which were okay. I don't. Let me go to Instagram. Good grief! I took a picture of it, but I didn't take a picture of the prompt list. Hang on, let's go find it over here. Hang on. All right, why is not wanting to bring up that? Let's see. Hang on, I got to find Terry here. Okay, because I didn't have the prompts here. Okay, so here's the prompts: rocks, jewels, poppy, sky, and lizard. Terry. Hi, Pamela. Oh, you're welcome. You got your stickers. Good. Okay, so here, look. Hey, did you see that juggernaut pass by earlier? It was huge. Is there no end to your talents? You're a jack of all trades. She's also using the lollygagging book. No, I was busy making a big pot of jambalaya. So she's got jewels around their necks, rocks, of course, poppies in the background, sky, and lizards. Isn't that adorable? Look at the little expressions. You're so good at the expressions, Terry. Ah. So y'all go follow Terry Brett 3. I know you can't always see it there, but let's see here. Yeah. So go follow Terry Brett 3. I know, right? They are so expressive. It is, I think it is the eyes. It is the eyes. So thanks for playing along. Pretty much every week, Terry plays along. So thanks. Thanks for playing along, Terry. Let's see. Hello, Ellen. Who else? Yeah, I've never done y'all's prompts one day. Well, we at least write them down, View. Write them down and keep them in wherever you keep your ideas. If it's a Society of Idea Collector notebook or wherever you keep your ideas. Hi, Annette. Let's see. Scroll and see if I missed anybody while I went and rebooted. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Okay, I said hi to me. All right, well, I think I caught everybody. So we're going to color in the Wondrous Folk. I wrote down a bunch of stuff to talk about, pan pastels, and just so that, I try to remember everything. But I know you do, Terry. Sorry, guys. Got to get the voice going. So, Wondrous Folk, Christine Karron. This is her newest one. And she does have a child, like a baby. I don't know what you call it. Little Folk. I think it's called Little Folk. And I think that's coming out soon. It may be out. I don't know. I didn't check today. But I picked these. I cut these pages out. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I cut these pages out to pick one of these today. Let me turn off the autofocus thing there. Okay. When I came back, I forgot to turn that off. Okay. Yeah, so these are the pages that I picked to pick from. So I cut these out to pick from these pages. Put it in caps if you're talking to me. Let's see. Cindy. Thanks, Kat. Kat put a link into the Wondrous Folk. So so these are the ones that I picked to play with some today. I might do a little on each one just for samples. Like I like her hair. I like her wings. I like the ribbons. Again, I like her wings and she's a dark girl, so I liked her. Same for her. I love the braids. So I picked all these just because, these are some that I might want to work on. So we'll have them right over here. I think I do want to also, I also picked this one because it has pearls. So we can use liquid pearls. Did you see message? No, I did not, Ellen. And I did check my mail this morning. I did not see an email. No, I did not see an email from you, Ellen. Unless you just did it 5 minutes ago. Then, the third one, her with the ribbons. I do like her. I'm trying to see, but I want the pearls. I think the pearls are more, to me, more important than the ribbons. So I do like her, that little elf girl. I'm going to put them in order. Let's see. I like this, and then I like her. I like both these girls. I might work on both. I might work on 2 skin tones. Although she's an elf, she can still be whatever color we make her. So I might work on these 2, back to back, together. Yeah, because I like the pearls. So, but before we get started, I'm going to kind of run through my list a little bit. If y'all have questions, again, put the questions in caps. Okay, put the questions in caps. And then if y'all miss anything, I'll tell y'all, go back, scroll back, because I already answered that. Because if somebody comes in, like for instance here's my final, this is the fixative I use, a final fix. It does not have to be Grumbacher, but you want it to be matte. If it doesn't say matte, it probably is matte, but I would double check first just to make sure. Hi, Marsh. We're going to do pan pastels today. And I'm going to remind y'all, if y'all have not seen Marsh's video of his studio organization, it's really good, guys. So y'all need to go watch that later. So this is the fixative that I use. Again, I'm not married to Grumbacher brand. It's just, whatever I can find that is matte. And I like the final fixative. Um, you can, any fixative you use over pan pastels, you're not going to be able to erase completely. So it could be a workable fixative. It's not going to erase 100% once you spray it. So I just go ahead and use final fixative because for me, I found that the final fixative has less odor than the workable fixative. I don't know why. So, and maybe it's just different brands are different too. But anyway, this is the brand, or this is what I use to spray. You have to spray your pan pastels. Now you can spray them more than once. You could get all the pan pastels done and spray it, and then go in and work with color pencil. Which, by the way, you can work color pencil on top of pan pastels, and then you can spray it again. And then go back, a couple times. I never spray more than twice. I just don't. But and again, you'll learn and test it, and as you play with it, keep a sheet or two to practice different techniques on. So, and every paper is going to matter too. This is not Amazon paper, but it's not textured. It is a smooth paper in this book, and but it doesn't matter. I have worked on every kind of paper. I did bring my book in here. So let me find another. Let me show y'all another pan pastel. Maybe I can find a Christine Karron one real quick. Let's see. This is the wrong book. Is this the wrong book? Yeah, this is the wrong book. Hang on. What did I do? Here it is. Here. That's not it. What did I do with it? Oh, hang on. It's in the other room, I think. Hang on. That was one of my Society of Idea Collector notebooks that's similar to this one. All right, hang on. Let me just flip back here. Okay, like, is that a pan? No, that one's not a pan pastel. My chair keeps getting stuck here. This is a Christine Karron. And it's got some, I believe, some pan pastel and jewels and other things on it. So, and this picture is actually in this book too. But this was from one of her other books. Oh, I'm out of breath. Hi, Judio. Hi, Mark. So, see, it's got stickles on this one. But I want to show you one with pearls, and then I'll show you, let's see. Here's one with pearls. This one is not Christine Karron, but I want you to see the pearls. This is liquid pearls. Wait a minute. Try to grab it there. You can see it here. There you go. You can see it a little bit there. It's raised. But let me find a couple pan pastel ones. Hang on. Got a lot in this book. Okay. Okay, these are all pan pastels. These were actually my first pan pastels. Well, let me take them out because you can't see it with the glare. Here's this is pan pastel, and then a little bit of color pencil. So that's pan pastel and this is just on the copy paper. Well, it's not copy paper. It's the Amazon paper, I should say. The thin paper that comes in some books. And these, I think that might be some pan pastel. That's some pan pastel. Here's another one with pearls. And this one is Christine Karron. So you see how you can do pearls. Yeah, they are. I love the liquid pearls. And you can get them in different colors. I'll show you some here in a minute. Okay, and the background is paint in that one. These are Christine Karron. That one. I think we did this one recently. So anyway, oh, heavy. So that's what I was talking about, the pearls. Okay, so let me get the liquid pearls over here. So here's some of the different colors of liquid pearls. Then here, these are stickles. They're glitter, but they're not glitter, like no glitter comes off. No, well, I guess if you put something heavy on them for a long time, Arlene, they might flatten out some, but mine are all still, humped. So these are the colors, and there's other colors too, but these are the colors of liquid pearl I have, and those are stickles, and then these are all stickles, which are glitter glue, if you will, but they're not flaky glitter. You're welcome, Arlene. So we might do some of that. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see how much time we have and what we get done. I'm not trying to finish pages today, although I will finish them. But I want to do testing and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. I did talk about the fixative, so let me scratch that off the list. I think that's all of my list so far that I've talked about. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side for just a minute because I want to show the pan pastels. Then I'll show tools, okay? And I don't know that I've ever shown the metallics. So I do have the metallics. I don't really use the metallics, but I think I saw Devin using the gold one. And I said, I need to bring out my metallics. So these two are not metallics. Those are just two extra colors I have. But there's black, copper, a pink, or a rose, lilac, a lighter, like a bronze. And this is a green, a mint green metallic, and the gold. So let's just take this in here. So I want to show these as well. Just a little sample, throwdown of them. And let's turn the brightness down. I'm going to have to be adjusting the light brightness off and on here. Let the test. All right, I think I need to zoom back in. I think I forgot to zoom back in when I left and came back. So anyway, we will test those. Again, these two are just two extra colors that I had that came in something else. So we'll look at that in a minute. And then, and I can't read you all the colors. You'll have, if you want to see all the names of the colors and the new sets and all that, you'll have to go over to Golden's Pan Pastel section and look over there. So here's the colors. Now I did try to kind of get them all back in order. In order, what I mean by in order is they'll have extra dark. Well, they'll have the main color, then they'll have tint, dark, and extra dark, and that in every color. So, like, let's see here. Like, maybe another color would be better to see it. All right, here's some greens, and I can take the lids off. I know there's a glare. So, for instance, here we have oxide green tint, oxide green shade, and oxide green extra dark. So you can see that here. So all the colors have the main color, a tint, a main color, a shade, and an extra dark. And that's with all the colors. Okay, except the new ones. The new ones don't exactly have that, but okay. So here's the blues, and I'm going to just take the lid off for a second so you can see them without a glare. and they last forever. I know people go, oh, they're so expensive, like $5, $6, maybe up to $7 for one pan. They last forever, and they're about the same price as one Copic. So if you go buy one blue Copic, it's going to cost you probably about the same as one blue pan pastel. So, they are expensive if you go try to buy them all at once. So you don't have to buy them all at once. You can buy them one by one and you can order them too. And I think Blick has them, and you can order them on different sites, and you can buy them individually, and then they'll come with like a lid like this. So if you buy one, they'll come like this. Okay, they'll come like that. And then some of them, like I think on Blick, they have like a red set, a yellow set, and then they'll come to you like this, like a little stack. So they're stackable. Now these right here are like I have a colorless blender. I think I have an extra white in here. I'll tell you what they are in here. But I like the trays. I like the trays because I can see everything. But you can buy little sets like a yellow set, a blue set, a green set, and you can buy it like this. But they only have, and I shouldn't say they only have. I don't know that they come with extra lids for every one. If you bought a stack of, say, yellow, do they have 5 lids? I don't think so. I think they just have the top one, because the jar itself is the lid for the next one. See? So this one is the colorless blender. I think I have 2 of those. And this black here there's a titanium white under there. There's a titanium white and an extra black, and then that's an extra colorless blender in there. I don't ever really use the colorless blender. I just don't. Just like I don't use a colorless blender on pencils or any of that. To me, it just kind of erases things. Blenders just seem to erase more than actually blend. Okay. Hi, Riri. Put it in caps, guys, if you're talking to me, because I will be missing you while I'm going through all this stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I like the trays all out as well. Now, did they come like this? No, I've moved them around, shifted them around. I've had them for years. And so, they're not in the exact order that they came originally. And then here are the new colors. These are the new colors. These are the new colors, and that. So these 3 trays, like 2.5 trays of new colors. I think there's 53 new colors, and I barely use them because I just got other things I've been doing. So, and again, these are not in their, they're like a raw sienna light, a burnt sienna light. So they're not like all burnt sienna, or like that. They're just different browns, for instance. So, but I do like these, and we'll probably pull these to use today, some of these. And I probably have, no, I don't have, these are the new colors, sorry. Let's see, what's the other one? Let's move this over here. Here we go. Like these kind of, well, let me tell you what they are. Red oxide. Yeah, red oxides and the burnt sienna. So we got a new burnt sienna, extra lighter tint. What is it? It's burnt umber. Burnt sienna light. So yeah, they have some different colors. So anyway, we're going to play with these. If you have questions, put them in caps, because I'm going to, just keep moving as we go. And you will get some on your hands. You want to try to keep your hands clean with some baby wipes, but they're not dusty and flaky and like regular not pan pastels, like regular chalk pastels are real flaky and chalky and messy. These get a little, they get a little dusty, but they're not like a lot, or most, or the ones I've used anyway, chalk pastels that are crumbly, I guess is the best word I should say. Let's see. Hi, Cat and Paste. Who else am I missing? Let's see. I use the pencils to blend unless I'm only using one color, then find the colors blend are helpful. Okay. Yeah, I don't use any blenders, not color pencil blenders. I mean, I pull them to say, "Oh, I should try these again or try to play with them again," but I don't. Of course, Riri. It took me 2 months to get them. I ordered they were out of stock when they first came out. They were hard to find or hard to get. All the blicks were out of them. I could finally got them. I finally got them after like a couple months. Let's see. Yeah, and you do not want your pets in the pan pastels. They're non-toxic, but if you have white cats like I do, and it happened once before, Malibu got in the red, yellow, and blue, and you can't really wash it because if you're rubbing it, you're smearing it, because they're so concentrated. So I just had to kind of brush it out of her as best I could, and it took about, I don't know, a month or two to get the color all out of her white fur. Okay, so let's see here. I just want to and the other thing, and I did not write this down. But when you are working with your pan pastels, you don't want to be talking. And I've kidded about this before and told me and View have talked about anyway. You don't want to be talking while you're working with them because if you even get one little bit of spittle on your piece, it will leave a spot. And if you go over it with your pan pastels, there's no getting rid of that. I think I kept a sample. I think I kept a sample under here of that. Because I show y'all what happens. And I didn't spit on my paper. I just took a spray thing here, just got a little bit on there. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get a tool. Hang on. I'll get some brown here. All right. See those little dots? I just sprayed it with the thing. But you'll get those dots on your piece, and there's no getting you can't erase them. Yeah, no coughing, hacking, or sneezing, y'all. Exactly. Arlene. And I like to warn y'all because it's bad when that happens and you're coming through, especially if you're doing a portrait or something, you have to give the person a mole or something, because you can't get rid of it. I mean, I've not found a good way to get rid of it. So don't be getting any spit or anything like that on your. All right, let me go over here. I did not write that tip down, but All right, let's see. Okay, showed how they're lined up light to dark with a regular with a regular color, a highlight, a light, and then a shade and an extra dark. So, all right, let's see. Can be stored in stacks or trays. They're about the same price as a Copic. Let's see. Pencil goes over them. I'm checking off my list here. Can spray more than once. Use matte spray. You can use them on your jelly plate. And if you want to see them used on the jelly plate, I don't see Devin here right now, but Devin, go look at her playlist. I'm sure she has a pan pastel section where you can go find where she's worked on the jelly plate with the pan pastels. I don't, but for me, jelly plating is to make collage fodder. So yeah, Ellen. Let's see. Hi, Mama 4. Riri, no crying. All right, let's see. You can use stencil backgrounds. A lot of times when I'll do pan pastels, I'll use ink as well. I'll use an ink pad and a stencil and a brush and do stencil background and pan pastel. I'll mix it up, so you can do both. Okay, so you can mix media it up is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Use them on a jelly plate. Yes, she does. So watch Devin Rex for art if you want to see the pan pastels done on a jelly plate. Let's see. Okay, so far I've shown everything. You want to clean them on a paper towel. Clean them on a paper towel. They'll look stained, but if you don't see anything coming off on the paper towel, then you can still use them. These tips do wear out, especially this pointy one. This is the most thinnest and delicate of all the, and I'll show you all the tools in a minute. It's the it'll wear out, but then you can take it off and flip it over. See, this one's worn a little bit on this side, so I just flipped it over so I can use it for a while more on the other side. Hi, Tax. All right, let me get a sip of water here. Hi, Belinda. But yeah, it's the most detailed one. But I'm going to show you all the tools here. I'm just looking at my list to make sure I don't remember. Okay, clean on a paper towel. Flip the tips over for extra usage. All right, let's move these over a little bit because this is what we're going to work on today. But I want to show everything. All right. And I do want to do a little test of the metallics just so you can see them. All right, so I showed y'all the fixative. Just make sure it's matte. It can be workable or final, but make sure it's matte. Okay. Sorry, guys. I ate a cookie too to try to get my voice going because it starts going after I talk for a while. I should have made some more hot coffee, but I just brought up some water. Let's see, Belinda. Who else am I missing? Ann Makes. All right, let's see. All right, so again, you can get them in stacks or you just have a few. Sometimes they'll come. You can buy sets. You can buy sets by greens, blues, and stuff like that, and they'll come like this. And you can also buy extra caps if you want, depending on how you want to store them. I like them in the trays. Okay, so erasers. Erasers are great because if you have not fixative something, you can erase your pan pastels. A kneaded eraser is good for especially background areas. So if you've colored something and it's got on the background, you can erase pan pastels. And you can use a kneaded eraser like for bigger areas. Yeah, I messaged you, texted, and I showed it on. You're talking about the portfolio? I showed it on Monday, and I already put the pages in there. I showed it on first thing on Monday morning. So, yeah, I got it. Yeah. Go back on Monday, first thing Monday morning. So thank you. And I also messaged you on Instagram. I messaged you on Instagram as well. So a kneaded eraser cleans by just flipping it, mashing it, flipping it, and then it cleans itself. Now they don't last forever, but they last a good while. And you can also make a point to get in some areas with a little point, but it's kind of floppy. If you get to a point, it's still kind of floppy, so it's hard to kind of get into some tight areas. So that's why you want, and I have different ones here, electric, battery operated erasers. So you can erase, and I'll be showing you that when I go to color and stuff. But there's all different ones. This is an AFMAT. Here's a Derwent. This is another AFMAT with a tiny point. And then this one is just a Tough Stuff Paper Mate. Like, you can pull these, replace. It's not electric. It's just, push that down. There we go. And you can, it's just, eraser in the pen, but it's tiny. So that's what's nice about that. And then you can get all the different, this is all different eraser tips because, don't last forever. So like you can pull the little metal piece out, then you can pull the eraser out. You can flip them over, you can clean them and then, or just replace them if you start using them up. So then you just put that back in the little metal and you can have it, however much you want, and you just put it back in, and then There you go. And same for all of them. So I have different ones for the different erasers. The tools themselves. Oh, here's another one. Which one is this? This is a Curate Color one. Do I have it? Yeah. So there's all different ones. They're all essentially the same. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see. Thanks, Kat. You know how to. Kat, you're just the best mod. Not dissing on Tina and Janet. Tina will put in everybody's name every morning, and Janet, she's here for the snark, people. Tina said you can get the AFMAT brand cheaper than the Derwent brand. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so there's your different erasers, right? Okay, the tools themselves, like this one, they come like this, just plastic handles, and they have different shapes. I think there's 4 different shapes. They have different shapes, and you buy the little packs. They kind of come like this. Okay, little packs of, this one's a pack of 10. And then you just put them on. Let's put the right side down, and you want to be careful, especially with the smallest one. It'll rip. It'll rip if you're not careful. So you want to be real careful put on. I talk about like putting it on like a baby sock. No, Tina. So there's the pointy one. There is the flat one. And these are good, like, especially for a background and stuff. There's the oval one. This one's torn. I need to replace it. I've worn it out. Okay. Let's put a new tip on that one. So this is the oval. So you see what it looks like here. Let's go ahead and put a new oval one on. But come back here. Did I tear it? I might have torn it. No, maybe not. Okay, so there's the oval. Then there is, this one's kind of a flat, rounded. It's not like the flat. It's like here. It's like this. It's like this. That's a different one. Yeah, it's got a kind of a bigger oval. And usually when you, I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say that view, but yeah. Nut. Anyway, here we go. There we go. So there's a different size. I think, like I said, there's 4 different ones. And sometimes if you buy sets, like you can get them with the set. You can buy them individually. And then you can also, like I said, you can replace the tips with these little packs. You can get them on Amazon. Now, this is not like makeup sponges. Everybody goes, well, just use makeup sponges, because they have all different kinds of stuff. They have all different shapes of these sponges. It's not makeup sponge, people. I cannot stress that enough. This is not makeup sponge it could be the same shape and everything, but there's some kind of oil or something in them. It's not the same. Now you can have, like I said, there's all different kind of sizes of this material. And I rarely use these except for blend. And I have these 2 here, and I asked Bernadette when they were the owner of Pan Pastels about 4 times. And I've messaged and emailed and commented on Facebook on Golden's website that they need to make some more of these about this big. Because I use it, and most people probably would too, as a palette, because you can mix these. So if you have a little palette to mix on, so here you see I mix blues on that side, purples on that side. See, I use them for a palette because they mix so well on this material. Okay. And I've never washed any of my tools or sponges. I've never washed any of them. I just clean these. I just, go from find a little clean spot to blend on. And then these I just clean on a paper towel. If you just clean them on a paper towel, as long as you get everything off that you can see, then you can just continue to use them, All right. Hi, Lisa. Anybody else? Let's see, who else am I missing? I'm probably missing people. I'm not trying to. So I told View and Taylor and some of the girls about, well, ladies, people get offended. Oh, I'm not a girl, whatever. And when I talk to people online, everybody's a guy. I say, hi, guys. How you doing, guys? Everybody's a guy. But anyway, let's move along. So then they also have a couple of these kind of tools. I have two of those. They have these little, and again, they look like makeup, eyebrow, eyeshadow, but you can buy these little tips. They're just little things that you can put in the handle, and they're that sponge material. And it's called Soft, Sofft. So when I say it, I don't want to spit because it's soft. And there's other, the little sponges. There's just different size sponges. But anyway, I keep my my little tools, and here's another one. There's this kind. There's just different little. Here's the little tips, and then I got different sponges, and then here's the little more of those. So I just keep everything in one little tray like this. It's easy. So let me put all these erasers back in here, and I'll just put my tools right there on top, and then my kneaded eraser and my two sponges that I use all the time. So I keep it kind of organized like this. Yeah. Hi, Devin. I was just saying that if anybody wants to see how to use the pan pastels on a jelly plate, to go to your channel. And by the way, Devin does stream on Wednesday afternoons at 3 Eastern. Is that correct? 4 Eastern. No, 3 Eastern? Oh, I forget now. It's either 3 or 4 Eastern. Let me know again because I forgot. It's right before Hubster comes home from work, so I don't ever stay the whole time. But anyway, Devin comes on Wednesday afternoons at 3 or 4. Somebody will put it in there. Okay, 3. View said she comes on at 3. Yeah, 3 Eastern. There we go. All right. But if you want to see, and I'm not saying she's doing that today. I'm just saying she has videos already of how to use pan pastels on a jelly plate. Okay. All right. So there's my little tools. And again, here's some blender, and I have an extra black and a white in there, and an extra top here. I just have it. All right. So before we go on to coloring anything, I did want to, let's get my kneaded eraser here because I already got something on here. All right. Again, I picked out a couple of pages that we're going to work on today. I'm not going to try to complete them. I'm going to try to demo them. And I do have a lot of completed color book pages in my color book and or pan pastel playlist. Let's see, I have a playlist on pan pastels on the jelly plate. Okay, there you go. Today she's going to be playing with alcohol inks. All right, there y'all go. All right, let me get something. Let's see, is there a page in here that I can play on? No, there's not. I'm just going to play on the same kind of paper that we're going to do today. But let me just get let's see. This is a decent card. It's not 60 weight or something cardstock, because I wanted to show y'all we're going to do the I said earlier, Devin, that I never use my metallics. So I wanted to go ahead and just show them and maybe get inspired to use them again, or use them because I just don't use the metallics. So there is, like I said, a black, let me tell you the exact name. There is Black Fine. There is Copper. This one is Pearlescent Red. It's really like a pink. Pearlescent Violet. This one is Bronze. This is gold, and this is pearlescent green. So they're metallics. These two are not. Oh, and did I say the black? Yeah, these are not metallics. These are just extra colors that I had. Yeah, yeah. Those are just a couple of tints that I had that are. I don't know why I haven't. Well, because they won't fit in the other trays. I guess I could put those in the new colors because I have space. Hi, Dot. Let's see, Nanamo. Don't forget, guys, put it in caps if you're talking to me, because I am not gonna see you if you don't. I mean, I'll go back and scrub through chat. But hi, Christina G. But I will probably miss you here if you don't put it in caps, and I still might miss you. Anyway, all right. So here, let's go ahead. Here's the gold. I'm just going to go ahead and do. And when I hold it up, you're not going to be able to probably see how metallic it looks until I hold it up to the camera. So I'm just going to clean this off. Okay, here's the pearlescent green, pearlescent purple. It's a bronze color. What was that one called again? Or did I already do that? No, that was gold. Yeah, bronze. Bronze. Pearlescent pink. And copper. Oh, let's do the black. Yep. Let's put our little tip back on. Okay, Tex. Thanks again. Thanks again, by the way. Make sure you go look at the beginning of Monday's stream. I put all my serenes in the portfolio. All right. And then you will you're going to get your hands dirty. So you want to keep some baby wipes. Let me get some fresh ones. You want to keep some baby wipes handy to keep your hands clean. Okay. All right, so let's see. I'm going over here to my list. I showed the erasers. I'm showing the metallics. And I talked about making the sponge material and blending on the palette. Now we're going to do all this stuff while we're working on stuff, but I covered everything. Here we go. This won't help you because I did. You have to see me talk about it. But anyway, all right. So let's see. All right, there you go. So the pearlescents are not going to have that shine like that. They're just they're a little shimmery, but they're not shiny like the other metallics. The three pearlescent, and there might be other pearlescent colors. These are the only pearlescent colors I have is the green, the purple, and the pink. And then the three metals, and then there's the black. So you can see. Okay. And to see the difference between that black and the regular black, let me get to that. The only pan pastel that I have used extensively where I think I'd ever need a new one is white. What did I do with the black? Where's the black? It's in here somewhere. Down here with the gray. So you can see the difference. I can see it right away. All right, let's put that back in here. I'll be pulling colors as I need them. All right, let's see. All right, let's put this lid back on here. All right. See how much blacker that is? This is kind of it's almost like a pewter. It's almost like a pewter color with the shimmer. See the difference? No shimmer to the black. Okay. All right, so there's the metallics. Now let me clean this off here. Again, you can wash these sponges, but I never have. I just clean them off on the paper towel. Okay. Well, it's more like a pewter. Yeah, because it's got that little bit of shimmer. Okay, so there we go. Let me just put this away under there. All right. So now we can start. And again, if you have any questions, put it in caps. I want to start on our wondrous folk. Let me get my other. Couple of these other tools. These are my basic ones I use. I use the little sponges, these sponges for palettes, and I use these two mostly. Now, if you're doing big, and I've seen people that do beautiful pan pastels on the pastel mat, it's kind of like a sandpapery type paper, and they do big landscapes and all that. If you did all that, you'd probably go through some pan pastels. I don't do all the big giant pieces of art. I do use it in portraits and my color books, and then I don't ever run out of nothing. They last forever. They're just so concentrated too. All right, let's see. I don't see anything else in caps. All right, so I think I want to start on these two girls, this one and this one. I need another one of these papers. I don't know. Do I have one handy? Because I want it on something so there's no texture. You know what I mean? It protects the texture of the paper. So let's see. Let me get one of those. I put them all way up there on my brown paper. So let me just get a piece of white paper. I organized all my papers. All right, let's see here. I just need a 12 by 12. Even though it'll be white, it'll be fine. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's kind of tilt the camera. I'm probably going to zoom in too. All right, let's see. No questions. All right, let's go ahead and let's zoom in one. And let's make sure we're light focused. Looks pretty good. All right, again, we're coloring out a wondrous folk. Christine Karron. I'll do a quick little flip. And I've cut pages out, so you're not going to see every single one that there is in this book, but you'll get an idea. I think I've only found 3 that have been duplicated from her other books. Out of all her books, out of all the pages, I mean. And this is on better quality paper than I've done this one twice. View has one of them. So you can cut, and they're all named down there. You can't see the name down there. She has names for them all too. But I did, and I've done this. So I just showed y'all this one in my book, and I did this one on another paper. So, and again, she's got another one coming out, if she hasn't already, with the wee folk or the little folk. I forget exactly what it's called, but I have it in my shopping cart on Amazon, but I haven't got it yet. So, all right, let's put some back under there. Okay. So I thought I'd work on both at the same time. Now let me move my camera over some. Let's get everything in frame that I can possibly do here. Like that. So we can kind of work on a couple at a time. All right. All right, let's see what I want to start with. Let me get some skin tones. Let me get some of the new. These are the new colors. I like these colors, and my other these here. So I'm going to just go ahead and take the lids off and pull some colors. That's usually what I do to start. I don't know what color their, outfits or, the hair. I haven't planned any colors. Oh, thank you, View. That's sweet of you. I'll have to send you some stickers. It was cute. Logan got his stickers. I sent him for his super chat last week, and he got his stickers. And so, yeah, it was cute. All right, View. Thank you, View. Everybody gets stickers, and you get a sticker, and you get a sticker. Let's see. So thanks, View. Team stickers, yeah. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to pull from this set and the new set. I'll just put some of the lids down the floor there. Let's see. I'm going to pull a cream. I'll tell you all the colors. Oh, the other thing too that I have to be careful of when I'm streaming is when I'm using the colors and somebody go, well, what color is that? You don't want to turn this over your page because if any dust is going to fall right, you're going to come over here, hold it up in the air and look at it. This one is burnt sienna white and this one is raw sienna tint. Okay, then I think I'm going to want this peachy color here, which is red iron oxide light. It's kind of it's a peachy color. And this is looking pretty true to on camera to what it looks like in person. And see, this is where, and I'm going to use my new white. That's a 10. I won't use that one. Let's see, where's my white? Let me just go back down here. Under here somewhere. There it is. And this is how they get out of order. I tried to put them in order to show you guys. And look, that's my white is the one I've used the most. And look, it's not even to the bottom yet. I don't really try to get them exactly back in their spots, which I know some of y'all OCD people, oh my gosh, they all got to go in order. And, I just, yeah, they should go back in order. Okay, I'm going to want her to have to start with some light blue on the base of her hair because that'll be the shimmer. So I'll have to go over there and get a blue as well. So let me kind of stack these up. I just got to kind of keep rearranging over here because, there's a lot of colors here. Let's put that there. But then you have to really pay attention to the tint, the shade, the color, So you do have to do that if you want to keep them in order. All right, so I'm going to get a light blue, and this blue right here is This Payne's Gray Extra Dark, Tina. And then this one is Ultramarine Blue Tint. So I'll go with those. And I can go back and pull more colors too. All right, let's see. I need a kind of this one is I do like my red iron oxide shade and the iron oxide tint. I could also do the in-betweens, but I blend everything. I blend everything on the see, I'm making a mess there. Gotta be careful. All right. I'm going to leave those out because I'll probably go back to some of these colors here. All right, but for now, let's clean the hands again. Yes, they do have Payne's Gray, and they have it in three all colors. The extra, this is the extra. Then they have the shade. Then they have the Payne's Gray and the Payne's Gray Light. Okay, or tint. It's not called light; it's tint. All right, let's see. That depends on the set. Light Star, Pan Pastels, it depends on the set. Sets are all different. If you get a stack, like a stack of green, blue, whatever, and you can buy them individually. Here's what I recommend. If you've never used Pan Pastels, I recommend you get a black, a white, and a couple of skin colors if you want to do any kind of faces. And see if you like it. It would be like buying a few Copic markers and seeing if you like doing alcohol markers. Okay, so they are, I'm not saying they're not cheap. I mean, I don't even know how much. Kat, can you look up one color, how much they cost one color? Any color, doesn't matter what color. Like at Blick, one color, Pan Pastel. They're about the same as one sketch Copic. Last I looked. I haven't looked in a minute, but hi, Jackie. So let's see. All right. So let's see what we want to do here. I'm going to work on two girls at once, and I'm going to work on two skin colors here. And I want to do her hair. You know what? I feel like starting with her hair. So I'm going to just get my, now let's see. Maybe I do need to zoom in more and just flip back and forth to the two girls because I think that might be better. So let's just move this over here. That way, and it might be better if I put the tan color paper under the girl because that might be better for the lighting. I think that might work. We want this to work as best we can. How much is 110 or one what do you call this? Not a tray, a tin. One little pan. There we go. How much is one pan running, Cat? Oh my gosh. My eyes are watering now. Oh my god. View. I'm waiting to see. Or did somebody go look and just to see? Click on the link that Cat put in. Cat Cheshire Cat 9.50. Okay, so I think it's about $1 more than I remember. I think they were $8 back when I was pricing them, and I think a Copic $7.95 for one color. Thanks, Cat. All right, so I'm going to start because I want her to have blue undertones to her black hair or dark hair. So I'm just going to start, and I'm just going to start with the blue. And again, remember, I also go in with color pencils. So I do both. I use the pan pastels and color pencils to do more detail. Am I zoomed in enough, guys? If I zoom in too much, then I'm having to constantly do this to keep it in camera. So I'm trying to trying to stay in camera as best I can. So I'm going to just right now, I'm just going to go over all the braids with the base coat. Y'all know we're all about the base. Get around her little elfin ears. Blick, oh, they have a sale for $5.27. Okay, so, and I don't know if that's all colors. Kristen, do you know if that's, what colors that is? And see, I got a little mark right there I need to erase. Or I might end up doing some stenciling in the back. So I'm just going to get, this is going to be the highlights in her hair. Plus, you can erase. Erasing, it brings back the white or the off-white cream color or whatever color your page is. It gets rid of the pan pastel, it erases it. So you can get highlights just by erasing. Okay, so I got a little bit right here, so some of that oxide over here. So let's get rid of that oxide where I touched it or some just fell off. I know you said pencil with them. Do you use markers with them? It's a pastel, so if you're using, do not use your alcohol markers over them. You can do some small little bits after you spray. Like, let's just say you sprayed it and you might want a little touch of a dark brown in somewhere. I would use again, I would say no. Because it's going to ruin your markers, whether immediately or after a few uses. The pastel gets on the tip of the marker, whether it's a water-based or alcohol base, and it's going to ruin your markers. So now if you want to put down some marker first, like if you want to do some alcohol marker stuff first and then put some pan pastels, but that's also kind of defeating the purpose of the blending of the two things. But test. But I would not use your nice alcohol marker. Don't use your Copics over the top of a pan pastel. So thanks, Kat. She put a link in there to the sale. Let's see. Okay, all right, that's all I see in caps for the moment. All right, so now she's got a base. like a light blue base for the highlights. Okay. Then I'm going to clean off the sponge a little bit, the tip. And I think I will go ahead and start putting a little bit of the dark on there, just so y'all can see. If you have any questions on Pan Pastel View or anybody, hi Belinda. Did I saw you earlier? I think I saw you earlier. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find some of the, now remember the tiny, tiny shading I'll do with pencil. And if I wanted to blend any colors, I would do it on the sponge. Like here, let me show you. I can take a dark, oh, that's the wrong side. I wanted this side. That's okay. You can do a dark, sorry guys, I forget how zoomed in I am. And then the light blue, and you can make a medium blue. So you can blend your colors. But I that's why I like these sponges, and that's why I wish Golden Pan, who now owns Pan Pastels, would make some of this material larger, because otherwise I'm just going back and forth here, trying to find a spot to do. And then it gets on your hands too. So keep a baby wipe handy. All right, let's see here. So I'm just adding some shading right now in between the braids. And I will end up going with a pencil over every single braid. When I do the braids, they go one little weave, if you would, one weave at a time. I color in between every one. But I'm just starting with this. Can y'all see that? It's a little gray there, but I'm getting there. Yeah, no problem. And they just blend so nice, and they're so concentrated. Oh, thanks. Thanks, guys. And I do like to take my time whenever possible. It's sometimes hard to take your time on stream because you're trying to get so much done in such a short amount of time. Even if I'm here 3 hours, it flies by. Now I'm gonna, but you gotta be careful when you do that. No spittle. It's because it's kind of gray, light star. It looks gray. It's a Payne's gray and a blue. We'll get to the skin here in just a minute. You'll see the color better, or more colors. I'm just kind of getting in between some of those little flowers. Hi, CK. Aw, yeah, it's well, you're also teaching full time, CK. No wonder you don't get it done in a day. So yeah. And I do a lot of them. So I do a lot of coloring and a lot of, let's see, let's go ahead and turn the light down just a bit. I do a lot of coloring and portraits. So, you know, you do get a little faster as you go, if you do them all the time. So I'm just kind of getting in between there. And You do want to spray it before you start working with color pencil. I mean, you can do a little color pencil. The reason you don't want to do color pencil so much before you spray is because you have to be so careful not to rest your hand. You can put a piece of wax paper, some kind of parchment or something so that you don't smear it. But you start getting in there with color pencil and you haven't sprayed this, it's likely that you're going to smear it. It's likely that you're going to smear it. Hi, Erica. So I try to get a lot of the pan pastel done. Then I spray it. Then I work with the pencil. And if, especially if I'm doing somebody's portrait or a pet portrait, then I might go back in with pastel again after I've worked. Because you can do pastel and color pencil. That's not going to hurt your pencil, like a marker would. And then after I spray it, then I'll go with the pencil and I can spray it again. I never find that I really need to spray more than twice. It's usually twice, once to get the base of the pan pastels down, sprayed down. Then I'll go in with color pencil and then I might touch up some things with the pan pastel and I'll spray it again. So that's usually enough. But if you do add more pastel, you have to spray that final pastel whatever sequence you do it in. When you're all said and done, it needs that layer of spray after you've done the last layer of pan pastel. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Ellen. That's sweet. Let's see. Okay, put it in caps if you're talking to me, guys. All right, so I'm going to stop on the hair for just a minute. And there's not much dust to, blow off there. Just maybe a little bit because they're not crumbly like regular chalky pastels are. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here and clean my sponge off. And I do make sure that it's pretty clean, especially if I'm going to a light color. Or if you feel, you can change the little tips too. But as long as nothing's coming off, it doesn't matter if they're stained. All right, let's get a little cleaning with the baby white. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and start on her skin. Now, this is where I do start doing blending. Okay, because she's going to have dark skin, but dark skin girls still have highlights and stuff. So let's see, I might need one more color. Let's see. Look at my colors here. I might need, let's get this. There we go. All right. I might need some more as well, but we'll start with this. And maybe I'll get a little bit of a golder color. All right, we'll see. So I've got over here, let me just move my camera instead of this. See, I got my colors right over here. Let's see, not just teaching full-time. Now I'm part of the staff. Oh my goodness, who observe other teachers. Wow. And CK, she has a channel. Y'all go visit her channel too. She's a teacher in Mexico. And now she's working with other teachers. So yeah, and y'all check her out on Instagram. All right, so I'm going to take my sponge that has some brown tones. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this oxide and just start doing a little bit of blending. It's a little too dark. I'm going to take a little of this peachier color and just kind of, start testing my colors here. So I didn't want it this dark, but, I wanted that tone in there. So, all right, so let's start that. I'm going to start with the shadow. That's usually what I do. Sometimes I'll start with the base of just all one solid color, like the lightest tone. I'll probably do that on the light skin girl. I'll just start with the base. Which girl was it? This one. just start with the light base, her whole face, light. I'm going to start with her a little bit in the shadows. Okay. And it is a grayscale, so you can see where the Christine Karron, who's the artist, has shaded for you. So if you don't quite know where to put shadows and stuff, you can follow that. Now I'm just kind of just getting around the edges here. I got a little, it's starting to wear. So if you get a little flake of your sponge coming off, you can pick it up. But eventually you have to, these, especially the pointy one, you will have to change it, you know, probably in between every major piece that you do. So it's, you know, if you order these, I would just go ahead and order the replacement tips along with it. Let's see here what we got going on. Yeah, Devin, she does have, that is a lot of responsibility. I'm gonna give him some much. Aw, well, I'm trying, View. I'm trying. All right, so right now I'm just starting by just kind of going around some of the shadows of the face. And I can go ahead and go down. And again, I'm blending on the sponge. If you don't have this sponge, you can blend on one of the other ones, you know. But it's blend on a sponge. Don't blend it on a paper. I mean, you can do what you want. I don't blend on a paper because it's kind of grinding the stuff down into the paper where it's not doing that on here. Same thing you could use, you could use one of these sponges. You know, it's all the same materials, just different shapes. It's just that these are the biggest ones. So I just use the biggest shapes that I can use. And look how much I've done. I did all this with just one swipe of the dark brown and one swipe of the lighter tan color on the sponge. I haven't had to go back over here and get more. It's so concentrated. You can get so much. I haven't decided on her outfit here either. I think that might supposed to be a clear, a see-through. I think this fabric right here, this looks like her skin right in here. I mean, it's all her skin underneath, but it's going to have like a sheer over the top. I'm just getting some base in there. We can always erase before you want to erase anything though before you spray. Like if I got anything on the little pearl I didn't want there, which is going to be covered up with liquid pearls anyway. But you want to erase before you spray. Okay, I want this a little bit lighter because I think that's a piece of, I don't know what you call the fabric. I'm not sure the name of the fabric, but it's a sheer fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get a little bit here. View, thanks. Oh, I hope so. I hope it's helping. I hope it's helping. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much, View. And you can also, I'm kind of keeping it real basic right now, but you can add all kinds. You can add blue undertones to the skin. You can add, yellow. You can add other colors undertones in the skin. But I found that when I do that and I'm trying to show somebody how to color a color book page, and I start getting into, undertones of blue or yellow or whatever, they get lost. They get lost in, well, which color and how much, and I don't get that. So I try to keep it pretty basic on the color books when I'm doing portraits. I have many more colors of undertone colors when I'm doing those. And all my work is on Instagram. Well, I say all the permitted, all the permitted, because if I'm doing a portrait of someone that's passed or somebody's grandmother or grandfather, or most people don't mind if I show their pets that have passed. They're actually kind of happy to show pet portraits. Um, if I that's getting too dark here. So we're going to take my eraser here, and I'm just going to erase that. It's too splotchy. I was trying to keep it light because it's a sheer fabric that seems to be over. So what I'll just have to do is hit it with a highlight of something to make that look like a sheer after the fact. But if I'm trying to do it now, it's just making her skin look too splotchy. So that's not going to work. So we're going to erase that. You can erase. Same thing, I want a little bit less over here. So they don't mind if I show their pet portraits. But I get permission from them to show their family that's passed or something, just out of respect for their past, relatives. But most of my most of my portrait work is on Instagram and some on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to wait on doing any more down there. I'm going to want some more colors, other colors down here. Yes, kneadable eraser. Kneadable, and you clean it just by doing this. Just do that. You fold it over and you clean it. But now you can clean it about 50, 100 times. You clean it a lot. But eventually it starts getting hard because all the material is worked into that kneaded eraser. All right, so now let's go ahead, and now I'm going to add some of the lighter, a little bit lighter to the dark. And I'm going to start blending out. That might even still be, it's still too. All right, let me go ahead and clean the sponge. The dark is in the sponge, and I have to get the excess out. Now we're going to go over here and pick up some more of the light. Okay. All right, so now I just want a base. And I can put a whole base over the whole face, base the face, because I can take my kneaded eraser or the other erasers and like highlight out her cheeks or her eyebrow area right up here. I like a highlight there, I can erase. You can erase it out until you spray it. So let's go ahead and do her cheeks while I have just the light color on here. I'm going to add a little peach in there too, a little makeup, if you will. Okay, let's get a little more. And just softly blend. If you feel like you didn't blend it well, or you got it too dark, or whatever, you can take your eraser and erase it out. Okay. Okay, now I want to go back a little spot of the darker, because I want a couple areas where it's a little more shaded. And go down here on her nose. Under her nose there, and her chin. And the corners of the mouth. So what I like to do, and you can switch it up as you go, or accent more one or the other. It's usually in the creases of the eyes. Oh, thank you, Missy. Thank you so much. Just to say thank you for all you do. To celebrate my birthday this Saturday. Well, happy birthday, and I'm going to send you some stickers. So thank you, Missy. I'm writing you down for some stickers, and I have your last address unless you've moved. Just let me know. Email me. Any of y'all, if you move, you have to let me know, because otherwise it's going to the last address I have for you. if you don't tell me. So thank you. Hi, Miriam, Riri. Am I missing anybody else? Thank you, Missy. You'll be getting some happy mail. Okay, so um, the shadows, like around the edge, of course, under the chin or under the neck, you're going to have a shadow under there. You're going to have, I like to put a little bit of shadow in the corners of the mouth, especially if they have a semi smile, under the lip, under the nose, and then the little, that there's a name for that little piece of in between, under your nose right there, that little divot. And then you usually have a little bit darker on the there's a tip of your nose which is lighter, and then it kind of blends down in there like that. Can you see that? Now I'm going to go back to the light again. Going back to the light. Go to the light. And you can also, I got other colors here. I got a lighter tan color. I can pick some of that up and get it even a little lighter. See? Just blend on the sponge. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get in here, the lighter colors. And sometimes I just go right over the lips too, because then I end up putting a lip color on them, in a while. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And then what I usually do is then I go back and kind of pop out the highlights, just even if I go back again and cover them back up. Okay. So now I'm going to clean my tool off and just kind of softly blend some of that in. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to pick out the highlights here. And I add multiple layers. All right, so now I can take my eraser and do this gently, and take your time. All right, so I'm going to want highlights right at the brow, usually right above and right below the brow. All right, let's see if I can zoom in on this part a little bit here. And this is regardless of what color skin you have. You're going to have highlights regardless of your skin color, okay? All right. Then I like to have, and I'm just making a little point here, or you could use your electric eraser. This is working. So I'm going to have a highlight right at the inside of the eye there. Okay. Right in the corner there. Okay. And I'm sure y'all can see that. See how that brings her eyes out, brings them to life? And I haven't even done the insides yet. All right, now I'm going to take and put a little light on the tip of the nose. You can, if you take off too much material, you can always just go back in and add, go back over it. Okay, she'll have a little there, and she might have a little bit of highlight, which you could do with pencil too, right, a little on the nostril side, and then a little bit right on their side, just a little bit. And you can also, which I usually do with pencil, is have like a highlight right across the top of the lip, which I usually do that with pencil, but I'm trying to show you as many highlights as I can. Okay. Now that's a little too much. It's needs to bring that shading down just a little. There we go. And then the chin. Okay. So it's kind of right down the middle of the face. Now you don't want a big white ball there, so you're going to have to kind of soften it, but you're going to have a highlight on the chin and on the cheeks. And as you're doing this, see how the hand pastel is building up on here? If you want to keep removing material, you're going to have to get a clean part of the kneaded eraser. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit of highlight on this cheek over here. And again, you can, if you think, oh, I've erased too much and now it looks too whatever, then you can go back in and add some more. But you see how that's sculpting her face? Like now she needs a little bit dark right back there. See how it's kind of sculpted her face? She might have a little bit of light up on her forehead. Okay, and then now see how much is on there? So I need to clean that off before I move to another area. So she's going to have some highlight right here. And she'll have other highlights and stuff going down here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to tackle the sheerness of this dress yet. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kat. She looks young as I feel. All right. So now that I've done that, I'm going to get my sponge again. I'm going to get a little bit more of the dark and the light here. We'll get a little bit of both. Just kind of blend. And I can see where I need see how her nice dark eyes are here, the shadow, around the eyes, the makeup, or just, I'm going to want that a little bit more of that darkness in some other areas, like maybe right there where her cheek comes down. See how that just made that difference? You can always go back and erase. Or clean your sponge and blend. So a little bit of that's a little too, it's a little dark, but we're going to fix it. So hang on. And you just have to build up the layers. And skin is tricky to do. So I'm just kind of softly blending. It's getting really dark on the tip, so I'm going to go over here and clean that off. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of the lighter color. And just kind of keep blending until you get it just where you want it. These tools just do half the work for you. Okay. Said how to Riri. Let's see. Oh, yes. Thank you. Devin, don't forget her ears. Thank you, Devin. I would have eventually noticed. But yeah, let's go ahead and do her ears. So we'll just kind of do a mid-tone base. Thank you, Devin. So there we go. All right. Now we'll get a little of the dark. And I always like blend it on here because then sometimes if you pick it up off of here and go straight to the piece, it's too much material. It's just too much. But if you go over here and then blend it out on a sponge, it's just better. It's better if you can blend it out before you don't just go here to there. Sometimes I do if I want real dark or real, or if I know I'm just doing a whole base of one color. But otherwise, you want to use the sponge or, to blend it out. It just makes it more smooth. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to go in here now let me go ahead and get the needed eraser. You can hear now, Devin? Okay. All right, so now I'm going to pick out a little bit of highlights here. Okay, so let me hold that up. Okay. I want to get the lightest of the lights of the three, and I want this a little smoother. I want this a little more blended out right here. Okay. All right. All right. right, now I want just a little bit of light right there. Very light. Shh, shh, shh. All right, now let's go back in with a little bit more dark. I want just a, and I'm just kind of taking my time here. I want this cheek a little bit more defined. See how it made her have cheekbones? All right, so now I got to decide on her eye color, her lip color. I think I want her to have this rusty color eye. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some in. Now remember, a lot of what I do, especially in the eyes, is going to be with pencil because it's just that detail, you know. So what I usually do, let me clean my hands off a little, is I'm going to put the eyes, the darkest part, like halfway down the eye. Okay, halfway down the eye. And then I'll pick up maybe a little bit, just a tiny bit of the lighter. Although you can do that with pencil too. Okay. Which I'm going to do here in a minute. And then the pupils, I get in with, and I do this with pencil, when I do color pencil, marker, whatever. I use a Sharpie pen to do the pupils. To do the pupil. If you want a nice, let me show you the difference just so you can see. See the difference? Same thing for the lash line. And I'm not going to do the lashes yet, but I want you to see the lash line. And this little bit of going over with the pastel with this pen usually won't hurt it, but it doesn't hurt just to go over and kind of clean off the tip a little bit because you are picking up that material. Okay. I think I will go ahead and do the eyelashes because I want y'all to see. Although I'm going to get back in here with color pencil in a minute. Now her eyebrows, I'm going to want them to, I'm going to pick up the dark gray here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the gray on her eyebrows. And then I'll put individual little hairs with the Sharpie pen. Okay, maybe just a little bit more. See, I just went straight from there to here, and I can tell I got a lot of pan pastel on that tip. Okay. Oh, thanks, Kat. And now I'm going to take and just flick in a couple. I'm just going to do this eye for a minute so you can see the difference. I'm just going to flick in a couple hairs. And again, I can feel the tension of using this pen over the pastel. It's kind of scraping sort of feel. But if you want those tiny details, you're going to have to either get a sharp, sharp, sharp pencil. I just like the blackness of the Sharpie pen. Okay, there's just a few extra little hairs there. Okay, so now you can look at the two eyes. And I haven't even put the color in the irises yet. Now, the other thing that I like to do with eyes, and I could do a little bit with the pan pastel, but to be real accurate with it so that it's very detailed, I get my, get it here. A slate blue. Blue slate. A slate blue pencil. Let me sharpen it. And I usually do this with all eyes. Pets, people. This is what I usually use for the shading in the eyes. So I'm going to just do this one for a minute. And I'll put down all under the whole eyelid, all along the lash line. And I'm going to hold it up and you're going to see how this makes a difference. Well, and it also needs just a touch. I'll just use a Posca. It needs that little dot in the corner of the eye. for a second because I haven't done the color in the eye yet, so I don't want to get too in the weeds. All right, so can you see that blue? See how that blue makes the eyes look so much more depth? Okay. Thanks, cat and paste. Okay. Now I haven't done the iris yet, or the the color pupil, the color. No, the iris. Yeah, I did the pupil with the black and the iris. I haven't done the. I just add a little bit of color. See, just a little bit of color. Now I'm going to go over here. Now let me go ahead and do. I'll do the blue first, just so you can maybe see it better before I go in the lash line. See that blue? See how that makes a difference? Now I'm going to go with the Sharpie pen and I'll do this eyebrow. And again, I can feel the pen saying, I don't like going over that pastel. And eventually it will wear it out. So I come over here and just kind of try to clean off the pastel. Okay, I'm going to go in here with the pupil. I'll do both again, nice and dark. Then her lash line. And then the lashes. And flick the lashes. Don't make a harsh line like that with the lashes. You want to flick it. Here. Don't do a harsh line like this. You want to flick. I missed a couple over here. And again, I can feel the pen picking up the pastel and wanting to resist. Okay. All right, now let me get my white pencil. Do I have a white pencil handy? I usually keep them right here. Sharpen. Yes, flick. All right, so now I'm going to go in. Let's see if I zoom in too much, I start losing clarity here. All right, so now I'm going to kind of do a little bit of just to kind of smooth out the line that's the lash line at the bottom. Now remember, I have to keep in reminder to myself every time I set my hand down, I'm going to be picking up color. That's why you don't want to do too much pencil work before you spray it. Hi, Kimberly, because you're going to be setting your hand, your sleeve's going to be getting in it. You need to, get the base, get as much of the pastel done first before you get it too much in the weeds with the pencil. But I'm doing it because I want to show y'all as much as possible. You know what I mean? All right, so now let me go ahead and let me do the eyes. The iris. Let me I'm just digging over here for a couple colors. Maybe that one. Yeah, let's go with this. All right. And I got to sharpen. Let me sit down the white for a minute. And hi to anybody I missed. All right, now let's go ahead and I'm going to do her color in her eye. I'm going to start with I'll show you. I'll hold it up because it's just easier. Okay. So see how I did half the eye. If I color too much over, might put a little bit more blue down there too. Okay, so let's do both. Go back with the blue, just a little bit more blue shadow. And then I'm going to just put a very light coat of the sienna on the very light because I'm going to blend it out. Very light. And then I'll take, what is this one? Peach beige. It could be any of the light beiges. And I'm going to blend that in. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Posca and I'm going to go over the highlight that's already there. Okay, and then I'm going to just put a little bit of highlight up underneath. And you might have to kind of tap it so it doesn't look like a big white line. Okay, if you need to, you can take the blue and get a little bit more in the corner. That shadow makes all the difference. Okay. If you want it a little bit brighter, corner of the eye. Okay. And then if you want some like lines, so let me get a dark brown. Hang on. I'm going to get a dark brown. And then I'm telling, these are the colors I'm using for her eyes. If she had blue eyes, green eyes, it'd be, a little different. Each color of the eye. And on her, we'll maybe do a blue eye or a green eye. We'll see how much time we have. We're doing good on time. Now I can see where my hand has got some smudges over here. So you want to make sure that you're cleaning up those areas, especially before you go spray it, which I should probably go do. I'll do that here shortly. I'll do a little bit more smoothing down here, and then I'll do that. All right, so now I'm going to go in here with the dark brown and just put a couple, not too, just a hint of those lines, because you're not going to really see them anyway unless you're like zoomed in on them. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to see that. But I want her to have nice dark eyes, but they're going to have a nice highlight at the same time. I see one little spot right there. And if you're doing manga eyes, they put like 5 highlights in a manga eye. You could add other highlights, like kind of lines, in the eyes to add more highlights. Hi, Taylor. Taylor, you have to go back and watch from the beginning. All right, let me take a quick break, guys, and then I want to do a little on her lips and maybe a little peachy in her cheeks. And then make sure the cat's not in here so I'll close the door. All right, BRB. Okay, got my hands pretty well got all the flakes off. And let me go ahead and get a clean baby wipe so that my hands stay. You just really want to keep your hands clean when you're doing this. All right, let's see. Let me scroll into chat and see if anybody's put anything in caps. Okay, Arlene, thanks for being here. And bye, CK. Hi, sister. How you doing? Lurking and learning. Who else am I missing? Okay, Angie. Hi, Cindy. I said hi to Cindy earlier. Oh, you're welcome. I did talk about all kinds of tips and stuff on the sponge tools and all the stuff. So yeah, all the things. All right. So now let me see what I want to cover. Let's go ahead and get my little sponge here. Oh, that's not the one I'm using. This is the one I'm using. And a couple of the colors here to kind of get a mid-tone. Again, I just like blending on the sponge because you're getting a nice flat color on here. All right, let's move. Let's put all that up there for a minute. All right, so now I'm going to just, it's too dark. Let's pick up a little lighter. I want to blend out a little lighter, a little bit more mid-tone. There we go. I'm going to do this real quick, then I'm going to go spray. You can always add more. You know, after you spray, you can always add more pan pastel. But you want to make sure that you're not going to want to erase anything, because you're going to have to, you can't. Not after you fix a tip. Oh, thanks, guys. All right, so now, again, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more on the skin here, but I think she has some kind of a sheer fabric. Like right here, I think that's a sheer fabric and some buttons or pearls there. But I think, and then she's got the top here, which looks like a double 2 layers of fabric, right? Like, you know, so you can't see through this part right here. But this part I think is a sheer fabric. But she's, you know, so you're going to see through it. I'm kind of just going over the pearls and the lace because I'm going to just, rather than trying to fussy, you know, go around each one of those, I'll just take my, we'll get out the electric eraser, the battery operated one, to erase. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead and give her a nice even coat because she's very young. So you want young skin, regardless of your color, is smoother when you're younger, right? You know, you're not, she's not going to have patchy skin. It looked a little patchy because I was trying to figure out how I'm going to do the overlay of fabric. And I'd rather not have the fabric look good than her skin look patchy because she's young. So we don't want her to look patchy. Patchy, no patchy. We don't want that. So I'd rather just be smooth with the skin and worry about the fabric after a minute, you know. All right, so there we go. Let's just kind of get that all kind of blended, maybe a little right there on the ear. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I went over the pearls and over the lace. I don't know what, you know, this is probably needs to be like a pretty pink or something soft or something, or maybe this peach color. Here, let's do that. Let's see, let's go ahead and clean this off. And let's go ahead and do this kind of bright peach. It doesn't show up on camera. It's a little rosier than it looks on camera. Thanks, Taylor. And I'm going to go ahead and do her shirt, this color, her top, whatever. I'm going to do it this, and I'm going to go in here with the eraser in here in just a minute. I'm going to put this peach color down. It's hard to tell the difference between her skin and the peach color. I can see it better here. There you go. And I just want a flat color, so I didn't even put it on the sponge. I just went straight in there just as a nice flat color because I'm going to go in here with the eraser. All right, now I'm going to go in here with her lips, and I'm going to put some of the peach and a little bit of the brown, and I'm going to do her a little bit of her lips here. Remember, we can use the eraser. See, just a little bit of shape. I don't want her to look like she's wearing a bunch of lipstick. I want her to look very young and natural, you know? But I want a little bit darker right in the corners there, which I should probably be doing with pencil. because I can do more control with these little tiny areas with pencil. But we'll get in there with pencil again too. A little darker right under her nose there, just a little. Oh, and I also forgot, the nostrils. You want to have the nostrils be dark too. Just a little bit. Okay. And sometimes I do just a tiny bit in the corners of the mouth, and then I'll go back over that. Just touch it with the, because I like the corners of the mouth to be dark too. All right, so there we go. See? Okay, so now I want to show you with, let me clean this again so I don't forget. All right, clean my hands. All right. And let's see, which eraser do I want? Do I want this one? I showed you all my erasers too. Maybe the littlest one. No, that's too little. Let's see. I think I'll just go with the one I started picking out here. All right, so I got my eraser. If this bothers y'all and y'all remind you of the dentist, just mute me for a minute. Oh, good, Annette. I'm glad. All right, so now what I'm going to do is see all the lace and the pearls that I went over with the skin just to make doing the skin smooth easier. Now I'm just going to take this. Now again, you got to be careful. You're going to be laying your hand down. It might behoove you to have a piece of parchment paper here to set your hand on rather than trying to avoid sitting your hand on it with the skin. All right, let's go ahead and get all this erased down here. Whoops, I don't want to bend it. It's better if you just go one way with the kneaded eraser than try to go like that, because then you're going to end up bending your paper if you're not really careful. And again, you got to keep cleaning because you're picking up material. Okay. I'm trying to keep a firm grip on it as I'm doing this. All right. All right. So now, and to clean your eraser, you can just go over here on a paper towel and just kind of, and you'll clean the edge off. I mean, it's still way down there. That's kind of dirty down there, but it'll be fine. Okay. You got to hold on to your paper. I'll do a row and you'll see. You want to do this before you spray because it will not come off after you spray. See how I erased the pearls and some of the lace? Let's do a little more of the lace. And I'm going to go over the pearls with liquid pearls. And you don't want to do that till the very end and when you're completely done with everything, because that has to take some hours to dry. Okay, yeah, you want to hold on to this because if I didn't look, see, look, I'm not going to hold it. Watch, see, it moves. And you'll get a little bit of crumblies from the eraser. It's best if you have a soft brush, like, let's see. Let's find a soft brush here. I have my big giant one, but just something soft just to kind of get rid of the eraser rubbings, There's more of that than there is any pan pastel. All right, so let me show you. See, there's a little bit more right there. See the difference from here to there? You erase it off. And then you can go in here and let's just say that you want that to be a white lace. Then I usually like a blue, and the blue's going to tie in with everything. Oops, let's get a little of that crumb off there. With the eyes, a little bit of the hair. And I haven't even done the black in the hair yet. And then, so y'all know I love blue shadows. So if this is a white lace, she's going to have a little bit of blue shadow there. I'm also going to go in here with Posca because y'all know I love me my Posca. So let's just get a little bit of the blue in here. All right, let me finish erasing. Hang on. And it starts to wear down. What you do is you just move your eraser up, and you can flip it over too if you want a sharper edge from like when it's brand new. Flip it over and put it back in. Okay, that's all there is to it. And you can buy these little replacements, the little erasers. Okay. And be careful with you want a soft brush. You don't want to be moving your pan pastels. You haven't fixatived it yet, so you want to be careful with that. You know, just kind of flick off any bits of eraser. Let me clean this off. Okay, now I'm going to go back in here with my blue and put the shadows. Just a little bit of shadow behind each of the pearls, which I'm going to do that with liquid pearls here in a little bit. I'll post these on Instagram after they're all said and done. I didn't plan on completely finishing 2 of them today anyway, but I wanted y'all to see different colors, different skin tones. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do, I think do I want to take, let's see, because there's kind of like a little floral pattern in the peach. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of a floral pattern, very light. So what I kind of want to do is, I'm just going to kind of flick around some little petals in there. I'm not trying to follow it exactly. Okay, kind of look like a lacy something. Let's see. Hello, Jenny. Yes, Scumble. Yes, Scumble my eraser. All right, so now let me finish with my blue here. And then I'm going to go spray it. Then I'm going to come back and add some of the little bit of Posca and some more detail, you know, with the pencil. In her skin and just everywhere. Just adding a little blue first. And I still have to do the black in her hair. I do each individual braid one by one. I haven't done anything with those flowers. I think we'll do we'll do peach flowers too. All right, so let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Put a base of the peach here on the flowers. Okay, and now I'm going to take my eraser again. Yes, frilly. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to go in here on the flowers. See? I'm going to turn it over so my hand's not in her on her face. Y'all mute if this is bothering you. I'm almost done. And then I can go back in with a little darker peach pencil and add a little bit more shading under the highlights. Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks, View. I'm going to add some more white to it too, but I'm going to go ahead and go out and spray. Now again, before you spray, you want to make sure and go anything off around the edge, especially. And you know, if you're going to do something on the back, like paint the background or stencil or something else, you don't have to be quite as careful because you're going to cover most of it up. But you know, I'm not doing that today or right now anyway. So I want to make sure that I don't have any areas that have pan pastel before I go spray it. Okay. Her skin could be a little bit smoother, but we're gonna settle for this for right now. I can add some more white and light colors to bring out, and I'm also going to do shadows around the clothing and the pearls. So let me just go ahead and take this out real quick. I spray on the porch. And so I showed y'all this. This is what I use. It doesn't have to be Grumbacher, but it has to be matte. I'll be right back. I like to spend a couple minutes wafting it in the air, you know, blowing it around in the air for a minute so that it gets rid of the smell. But I think it's good. All right, so now, sip of water. running up and down the stairs. Couple things. I'm going to pick a pearl color. I think this peach color is going to be good because we'll get doing all the peach. Not going to do it yet. Just giving y'all a little tease there. Okay. And it's liquid pearls. Okay, we'll use that in a minute. I want to do a little bit on her hair first. Okay. I don't really need to add any highlights. The light blue that I started with is highlight enough for her hair to be black. Hair's going to be black. Okay, let me move stuff around here. Let me wipe my hands again. All right, so now I'm going to get a dark, I have my light blue. I want a dark gray and a black. I actually have to get in a pencil case because I put all of them in my pencil case, or most of them. I just have now my silverware tray of pencils is just the leftovers because I put everything away. I put it all away in a pencil case. All right, so now let's see. Let's make sure I'm sharp in here. You always like sharp pencils. And we're going to do some more work on this here in a minute. And I'm not probably going to finish all her hair because it's going to take a hot minute. And I haven't even done anything on this girl yet. We may not get to her today. We might just do this girl. All right. So now what I want to do is make sure I get every single weave. Okay. So, and this does take a minute. I'm not going to lie. If y'all get bored with me, I'll stop and do something else. All right. So I'm going to get, first I want to make sure that up against her face is nice and dark. Okay, I'll get right up against her skin here, and any areas that are going to be really deep in the shadow. Just going to go ahead and get some of that in. But I want every braid to look curved, each section, I should say. It's going to stand out. Up around her ear. I'm not really blending, softening out yet, because I know this is going to be very, very black, right where I'm doing all this. So I'm making sure I get all that in there. Up around the flowers there, around the ears. Well, I don't know about that, Kat, but okay. So anyway, I want to get right around her face first, and I really do want to turn it upside down. So even though I've sprayed it, I still don't want my hand rubbing on her face, right? So I'm going to kind of turn it and tilt it a little bit. And right now I'm just getting the blackest black areas. Okay, these are the very darkest dark areas. I know it looks really harsh, but it won't. It won't. Kind of flicking there. And if I need a highlight right along there, I can always put it a little bit in there with Posca or a light color. But I want to get the darkest dark. See how my hand's resting on her body? It's not a good idea. Any questions? Don't mean to drive you crazy. Just want. Did you ask a question? Let me scroll back, Ellen. I missed your question. Did I miss a question? Hi, Tracy. I don't see a question, Ellen. I don't see a question. Black horse pop. Yes, it is popping on the page, and it's going to blend out. But get my sleeve up here. I'm picking out all the darkest darks because she has black hair. You don't know that, but she has black hair. Getting around those little flowers. Sharpen is, it looks like it's still real sharp, but look, even though I'm twirling my pencil as I'm using it, it's dulled down. You really want a nice sharp pencil for those little details. So yeah, we'll probably just work on this today rather than trying to do the other one. I was going to try to do a demo of a light skin and a darker skin girl, but we're not going to make it. But I knew I wasn't going to finish it on camera today either. So up in here, there's no braid. Her hair is pulled, flat up in here. I'm trying to kind of leave a few like lines so you can still see that it's individual hairs, but I'm not trying to do the same braiding thing up here. But you want to leave lights to start with, especially. You can always go darker. Okay, and then I can take my gray and kind of smooth it out. Up in here. And then flick. I want it to look like lights hitting on the top of her head. And I've got to consider this too. I forgot that she has a part there, so her skin's going to show. So you're going to want to get a little a little color, skin color, and put the skin color. So now I'm picking up pastel, but I plan to spray it twice anyway. So you can see a little bit of her, skin there. But then I also want to go in here and make sure that the little individual hairs are coming out of that part. So it doesn't look like she has a a wig on. You want it to look like it's growing off of her head. Okay, back to the gray. And you can keep adding, individual hairs and darker. I haven't got down to the braids yet, but I'm going to keep adding this, making this darker and darker, but just a little at a time. Because I want to keep some highlights in here. Okay, and then some of the places where I put the black, I want to blend it out softly. Y'all still with the tour? You've already smeared. Hi, Blade. How you doing? Artistic biker is Blade. Well, his name's Jonathan, but his nickname is Blade. I always call him Blade. There's a whole story behind that. I won't tell y'all. I'll have to tell y'all that someday. I know the story. I know the Blade story. Okay, so now I'm starting to creep into the braids here. So now I'm going to have to start being aware of each braid. Okay, this one's kind of turned this way. She's got like one coming this way. You can't really see that, but it's coming across this way. But it's really in the shadow. So you don't see a lot of detail on that one that's coming across this way. They start coming down this way. And then this one comes around. Okay, so now what I do, flicking is important. Yes, it is very important. I would have, okay, I already said that. Let's see, what am I missing? And scrolling. Let's see. Hi, Beth. I'm still here on the ship. Okay, gee. Hair is much better than mine that I did. I didn't see what you did last night, Beth. I didn't see your show last night. Okay, so now again, I'm going to sharpen. And so what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to go over every one of the braid, and I'm going to want to go in the direction that it's going in between there. And then every little weave or whatever you call it, wharf and woof and the weave of it. You're going to want to go in there every single one, and just with a real sharp pencil, because you're going to have to blend each one of these out one by one. So you're kind of going around each little weave, or like how warp and in a fabric when it's woven together. There's a name for the woof and the weave. I don't know. Anyway, in the braid, you're going to want to go around every single little braid, just kind of flicking in between each one, because you're gonna feather it all out one by one. And I might not finish this because I want to show y'all this still, but we'll do a couple of them here. So I'm just kind of going around each one by one, and I'm kind of keeping them rounded. See how they're kind of rounded? And I'm following the pattern. Don't try to, say, well, I don't think that should go the way that it's drawn, because you're going to get in the weeds if you don't. You want to go the same way that they're drawn, because she's drawn them very well. Okay. Okay, then in between here, in between, you don't really see a braid in there. It's just nice. It's real dark in there. So you could get, pretty dark and just have some areas that are like way back in between the braids. Then maybe with a little of the gray. Okay, same thing for this side now, a little bit here. I want some dark right in there. Then there's light between that one. You know what I mean, View. Sharpen again. And there's probably lots of ways you can do this. It's just the way I taught myself how to do it. And so I get all the base of it, all the outlines. And I'm kind of flicking it, so it's not like just a harsh marker line, It's a soft pencil line. All right, we'll stop there for a second. All right. So now I'm going to take, I'll still go with the black. And I'm going to kind of soften. I'm just going to go, all right, so let me show you what I'm doing here. So here's the braid like this. Okay. And what I'm doing is going like, there's light here and light here. So what I'm doing, instead of just going on one like that, I'm going like kind of over both of them. So it's softening the line, but you're blending it into a braid. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll take the gray and soften it more. And then the light blue, and that'll be the last time. But I'm kind of just going right over that black line on both sides, not just one side or the other, so that it looks like it's blended, but you got to keep a sharp pencil. Okay. And it's very tiny. I'll try to do this a little bit here, and then I'll hold it up so you can see what I'm talking about. Going over the line, and then it makes it look like hair. And you might not be able to see it, but I'll try. Can you see how I'm going over that line like this? Here, you can see it there. So we've gone from like this to that. See how it's already starting to look soft? Don't be afraid to have some nice darks in there too, in between the braids. Hope this is helpful. Is it helpful, ladies? I usually just say guys, but since Jonathan's here, I'm teasing you, Jonathan. I've been knowing Jonathan. Some of y'all may know this story. When I first got on YouTube and saw, well, I started on Ustream. When I first got on Ustream and started seeing streamers, Blade, Artistic Biker, and I Carry Love, and Julie Topaz were the first three people that I ever saw doing a stream. It was actually Jonathan was the very first person I saw streaming. And then it was I Carry Love. Okay, good, Taylor. So he was the very first person that I saw doing a stream. And he back then, well, he still has a bike, a motorcycle, but he would tell his stories, and he was a big streamer. And then he had different things happen with his family, and he had to move out of state and change jobs and lots of stuff. So he, had lots of things happen. And but he and his what does he call her? His young bride? He calls her something bride. Anyway, not Frankenstein bride. Anyway, she's an art teacher. And I'm not sure if she's teaching at the moment, but we always called her Art Mom. So she's Art Mom to us. And so anyway, he was the first person I saw. So I said, I can do this. I think I can do this. So I got me a little webcam, and I didn't even have a mic at the time. I just used the webcam. And I think I still use the same kind of setup I have here. My camera's hanging from a yardstick, and the yardstick is tucked up under some weight on a bookshelf. It wasn't in this spot. It was in the other side of the room, but it was in this room. And so I started streaming after watching Blade. Oh, okay, Annette. And what happened was after I watched Jonathan and Carrie stream, and I said, well, I'm going to try this. I think this will be fun. And I had just retired. And so I said, well, I'm going to, and so I got the little webcam. I forget if I asked somebody or just looked it up or whatever. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and try this. And I have y'all know, and I've told this story before. I talk loud. I know I talk loud. So I said, I better talk quieter because I talk so loud. I don't know how quiet. I better talk quieter. So my first stream, I talk like this, very quiet. And I made some ATCs. They were beautiful ATCs. Texture, paint, and they were lovely ATCs. And I talked like that. And then after the fact, after the stream was over, one of my friends, or two of my friends actually, I think, watched the stream, and they go, why were you talking like a P blank RN star? I don't want to say the word because, that'll be a flag. And I thought, well, I didn't mean to. I just know how loud I talk. And if I, but eventually, it all worked out. All right. So anyway, let me keep flicking this, this here. But anyway, said all that to say, Artistic Biker was the very first person I saw stream. And he's back to making YouTube videos. He's been doing little drawings pretty much every morning. I don't know if he's still here. You still here, Blade? Or did he leave already? But so y'all need to follow him if you want to watch him do drawings every day, or pretty much every day. But that's how I started streaming. It was over on Ustream. For 4 years, I streamed on Ustream, and then sharpen again. Uh, so I'm just kind of making it the where the braids connect, kind of like like this. Well, I showed you over here, kind of like this. Like here's the braid, like that, and I'm kind of going over the line like this to make it look kind of like up there, like that, but small, way smaller than that. All right, I'm gonna stop here in a minute because I want to do work down here on this a little bit. Let's see if I can get one of the braids right along her face here done. And this does take a minute, but it's worth it when you take your time on the hair. But I'm doing every single hair, or every black line that I just went over. I'm doing that little squiggly bit because it makes the hair look soft. You might not think it makes a difference, but just got that tiny braid up here. Still going to do the same kind of thing, just smaller. Okay. And now I'm going to take the gray, same thing. Let's make sure it's nice and sharp. You can always make everything darker and just build it up slowly. So I want a little bit right there. And I got to get back in her eyes too. Leave some of those highlights, but soften it all around. And I know I keep getting off camera because I'm so zoomed in. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just go over. Now, this is what I'm doing now, this part right here. Like I got this part done. Now what I'm doing is going over this. Okay, so now I'm doing this. After I do that, any areas that are left, I'll go in here with the light blue just to kind of fill in any of the light areas. And each braid is done like that, each weave. But you want to leave a little, just a touch of light in between each one. You can always go back in there with the black and, make some darker areas. Although this gray is going to kind of really fill in. Sharpening. But I'm going to stop here in a minute because I want to get down on the clothes. And there's also, you can also do, I don't know if I want to tell y'all how to do this. Well, I mean, show y'all. I can show y'all, but it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's advanced because it's really not so advanced as it is. If you mess it up, then there's nothing you can do about it, really. But you can go over, and I usually do this with paint. I think I'll just do it on a sample because I don't want to do it on her and y'all. But what you can do is after you've done all this, let me just kind of make this. Hang on, gotta get back over here. After you've done all this, let's just do this little. Let's pretend this is one side of a braid here. Well, you really need to do both sides, but okay. After you've done the braid like this, you've got each little section done like this. Then you do the lighter. It's got a little bit of light left in there. But you can get this as dark as you want. You can make this much darker. I mean, you're just going to have black hair, right? So, all right. But what you can do to get a highlight in this at the end, and you got to be brave, but you also got to be kind of careful. Is you can take, like, let me get my slate blue or a slate blue. And I might do some in her hair, not right now because I don't want anything wet on here. I'm going to take, this is baby blue. I really want slate blue. Hang on. Let me get a little bit grayer blue here. What's this one? It's gray. Here we go. Colonial blue. Colonial blue's like, it's kind of like a slate blue. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, and I can go over, not all of them. You don't want to do it on all of them, but I'm going to take a brush. Let me get a little brush here. And just kind of, just get kind of like a dry brush here. And what you'll do is you'll just do kind of like a little bit of these will be a little lighter. Let me get a little bit of white. Hang on. Just a little bit lighter so you can see it. Okay, like that. And you can kind of go straight down each braid and it'll give it a highlight on the braid. I don't really want to do it here because I'm not done, but I'll do one. All right, see where I put that one little, that's a little too much. Well, it's because it's not done being blended yet. But you can put a little bit of a highlight down a braid. But you got to be careful. You got to be not much. Can't do much. Okay, let me stop that a minute. All right, I'm going to stop on the braid because I want to do some of the... all right, this is wet. Let me move this out of the way. Because I want to do this. I want to do the around the clothes for the next few minutes. So we'll have to do this girl another day. All right, let's move her out of the way. Oh, and the other thing, if we have just a minute, I did, and I know Helen's not here, but Helen Elliston came by on Monday, and I could not find her books just like in the spur of the moment. Well, I found them, I pulled them out. So I'm going to just do a quick flip here of her books in just a minute. All right. So anyway, you can start to see where it's starting to form the braids. Okay. You just got to start just darkening them. Get a pencil. You just got to keep continuously darkening them but you leave a little bit of light. Leave a little light in each braid. Let me see. Let's do a little bit over here. I just want y'all to see how you can see it looks like hair, individual hairs. See how it's looking like individual hairs? You got to just kind of do one little section at a time. All right, now let's go down here for a minute. All right. Where's my rest of my pencils? Did I put them up here? Where's that brown? Okay. So she's kind of got a terracotta color skin. And again, you're going to want to blend. You're going to want to take a little more time. But she's going to have a shadow under each lace, each piece of lace here. And I've already got a little bit of the blue. Can y'all see that? I can't get in much closer without it losing clarity. But I'm going to shade under each piece of lace and kind of blend it out softly and with a couple of colors here and just blend it out. But I want to have a shadow around the lace and under each pearl, one by one, under each pearl. Let me just kind of show y'all a little bit. In between some of the lace there. And the lace is going to have shadow on both sides because the lace is going like this. So there's going to be a shadow, not just necessarily on one side of the lace, but on both sides of the lace because it's all twisted up, you know. Just going to do a little bit here. Give me a minute, guys. I'm not looking at chat. I'm trying to get this as much of this done so y'all can get as many hints and tips. And if you wanted to know more about the actual sponges and the tools and the erasers and all that, I did that at the beginning. Okay. All right. So let me just do this quickly because I really need to do this shadow part before I go in here with the liquid pearls. Okay. I got to sharpen again. Hang on. I'll hold it up, but I think you can see a little bit on that side. So I'm giving each little pearl a shadow. And I'm giving it the color of her skin because I'm going to blend this out some, and I want it to be the color of her skin. Under her little shadow from her hair there too. Okay, let's keep going just real quick. And maybe a little bit of extra shadow in this fabric here and a little bit extra. I'll do one here, in the flowers. Gives it a little bit more depth in the flowers. So see the flower there? So you can put some, and you can blend it and soften it a little bit. But see from that to this, and then a little bit of shadow, just a little bit. I'm just going to kind of going around the lace. I'm going to blend out her skin a little bit more later, but I wanted to do these pearls for you. All right, so now here, let's go ahead and put a little bit of, so you can add a little bit more into the fabric. And again, I'll soften it up. I'm kind of getting the darkest areas in there. Okay. A little bit more on the pearl and the lace there. All right, let's see. Let's get around her neck. And then we're going to take the peach liquid pearls. All right, let me test this color here. Let's do one here and see. Get the air bubble out going forward here like that. There we go. All right, just got a couple pearls right there. And then it's lace. So I'm not going to do the lace. I'm just going to do the pearls. And it gives it a little bit of a point, but the point usually flattens down, but it still retains its puffiness of it. Now I want to put a couple over here, just kind of on her lacy shoulders there, like I did there. Okay. And you could do cream color. I just wanted the peach color because that's kind of the vibe we're going with, the peach color. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a couple in the flowers. just because we can. I'm not going to do these yet. I'm not going to do these yet because I haven't added any of the dark. But I'm going to put some pearls in the flowers there. All right, now one more thing before we go. See how it's got some pearls in the flowers? There's the pearls. Now what I want to do though is one last thing. I might have should have done this before I did the pearls. I might have should have coulda put some swirls in the lace with the Posca. To make it look lacy. I'm kind of just doing kind of like that. And I can feel it picking up, it's in the pastel, even though we sprayed it. It's still, it's still a marker. But I want this to look lacy. Same thing, and I shouldn't try to do this next to the pearls, but I'm going to. Because the pearl's going to take a couple hours to dry. Okay, let's turn it this way. And I really could wait till the pearls are dry before I do this, but I want y'all to kind of see what it's going to look like. And around the neck here, some lace. But I hope y'all got something out of this. Hang around for just a minute because I want to show y'all Helen's books. I don't have her brand new one yet. But I think I have all the other ones. And maybe just a little bit of and again, I really want to do some kind of a sheerness over the, like, she has like a fabric sheerness. But we'll see. A little lace over here. It's running over her arms. That's why I'm... Okay, I can get in there with a little more detail after the pearls are dry. So let's see. Can you see the pearl? There you go. The same thing for up in here. I can get in there with the Posca. All right, let's see. What else did I need to do? Oh, I did need to do just a tiny bit of highlight on her lip. Just that extra little bit of light on her lip. Okay, let's do this piece of the bodice. Okay, let me back out. There we go. Maybe a little bit of highlight on our ear here. Each ear needs a little highlight. And see, I got some, what do you call it here? My sponge touched the side here. All right. So I hope y'all like that. I'll finish up her hair and I'll take a picture. I'll post it on Instagram after a while. She could use a little bit more smoothing in her skin right in that area. I can just see it. like, probably like with a nice light pencil here. But I like to take my time, especially when I'm blending skin. You want to take your time. But anyway, and I'll put a little bit more shadow in here, around her skin. Oh, thank you, Tex. Thanks to guys. Aw, thank you, guys. Thank you, Taylor. All right, so I will finish her and post her on IG, but real quick, let me just take a minute to show y'all Helen's books, because I did pull them, and I did find a couple of the pieces that I did. And actually, View did this banana on her show. Well, I don't know if she actually did it on the stream, but she showed it on her stream. And her banana, I like her banana better than mine. But anyway, and then I had done the beer with the froth on it. And then here's the one with the giant mint. It looks really pink, but let's see if I can grab them. But maybe if I just move the camera back a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, so these are done out of Helen's books. You did do it on stream? So anyway, yeah. View did the banana on stream out of Helen's book. So let me just quickly, and I'm not going to have time to show you inside every book. I'll just kind of do a quick flip one. So this was her first one. Oh, and here's a bow. Here's a bow I did. So I did have a couple others in here. Some practice ribbon here. And I know I have a eye, and I have a couple other things, but I don't know where they are. Unless they just happen to fall out of this book, these books. So here's Color Special Effects, and Helen's got another one out, number 6, I think it is. This was the first one, and I'm just going to kind of just do a little bit of a flip just so y'all can kind of see what, she's all color pencil. She tells you every single Prismacolor color to use. Oh, here. See, look, there's stuff stuck in there. There's a raindrop. Maybe I got more stuff stuck in here I don't know about. Oh, there's the eye. I did keep the eye in there. So here it is right here. There's the eye. So there's the eye I did from Fall. And we did it on stream some years ago, step by step. So there's the eye. I leave it in here because, yeah, well, next time we go to do something. So that's special effects number 1. And I think this raindrop was in there too. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. I don't know if there's anything in here that I've done, but there's just all different kinds of things. Bodies, skin, some metallics. I think this is more textury stuff. Again, I'm just giving y'all a quick flip. I've flipped through these many times. You remember me drawing that, Annette? So if y'all want me to pull some of these books back out, we can do more Helen Ellis, especially now that she's got her new book out. Here's number 3. Mountains, florals. Is it Taylor? Do you have this one? Or who did I see have this? Was it View? I don't remember who had this book. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Taylor. Who was it that I saw had this book? Anyway, that's number 3. Here's number 4. This is the one where I did the what do you call it? The mint out of. And then there's some braids. Maybe next week we'll work out of these books if y'all want me to. Helen stopped in on Monday. I wanted to show the books off when she was here on Monday, but I couldn't put my hand on them right at the moment. See, there's the mints. This is the one we did here. Where is it? That's the one we did here. I just do them bigger because then you can see them. You see them on camera if I do them bigger than what the book shows, So that was number 4. This one's number 5. Number 5 was big, really thick book. She could have made this into 2 books, I think. And Janet Janet, do you have this book, or did you see Helen's? Janet drew this. Janet drew the alien on her channel. Hi, One Eye. I remember you from somewhere, One Eye. I don't remember where. It's been a while. There's Blade again. Your beautiful young bride is teaching. Okay, all right. Good to hear. Tell her we said hi, Blade. And y'all go follow Jonathan. Here, let me click on him. He's the artistic biker. Okay. Yeah, you did it on the Pantone. That's right, Janet. I was thinking it might have been on the butts on things. I couldn't remember because you did. There's the banana. Look at those goblets there. This one, Janet did this one. Or parts of it anyway. But when Janet drew this, she put butts on them. There's the beer, the mug of beer, or glass of beer that I did. Is that the last? Here it is, right here. Is that the last page? Yeah, this one. And she tells you every color, she does it step by step. And I try, when I do these demos from her books, I try to follow her step by step as closely as possible. Even though if I was doing it by myself, I might just like skip over some other part to get it to look like that. But when I work in her books, I do try my best to do it step by step, because that's how y'all would want to see it done. And then I also have her Sketch and Shade book, and it's a pretty thick book. Did I do something in here? This piece of paper in here. Oh, we did this ice cream cone in pencil. This one's all in pencil. Janet, you have this book? Because Janet loves her graphite. This is all in pencil. This one. See if I can come across the ice cream cone somewhere in here. There it is. I made some darker darks. You don't, but you will soon. So yeah, this is all done in pencil. So Sketch and Shade 2. This is probably a Sketch and Shade 1, and I don't know where. I don't have that one. All right, so there we go, guys. So thanks for indulging me to show Helen's books. You can follow her on Facebook. She does have a Facebook page if you want. And all her books are on Amazon, and she has a number 6 out now. So, yeah. I know. And I'm not an affiliate, guys. I don't get any money, and nobody paid me for I show y'all what I like. I don't get any affiliate money from Amazon, much to Picola's and Cheshire Cat's chagrin, because they're always telling me you need to have a Amazon affiliate, but I don't. So anyway, that's a lot of work. It's a full-time job to sell. I'm not here to sell, I'm here to inspire and get y'all to try new things and not be afraid to try things, and then just to have our community, and that's why we don't do politics here. Very little religion, although we will say we'll pray for you and stuff like that. But we don't do politics here. People don't come to art channels to get lectured to. So y'all, free to come here and feel comfortable. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'll finish her up. I'll give it a couple hours for those pearls to dry, and I'll finish up her hair and post her on IG. I will take lay these out here and do a little thumbnail, but I'll finish her up and post her on IG later today. And y'all have a great rest of your week. Don't forget, I don't know if Devin is still here, but Devin, it comes on at 3, and she says she's going to do alcohol inks. So she's going to do alcohol inks. So y'all go over and see Devin at 3 Eastern. There she is right there. And she does, if y'all want to see pan pastels on the jelly plate, she does have videos in her playlist for pan pastels on the jelly plate. So, all right. And if I missed you, hello, Bayou Gold. Bayou Gold. I like the way that sounds. I like the way that sounds. Let's see, Mama Four, and there's Tax. So thanks everybody for being here. Thanks, Janet, Cheshire Cat, and Tina for being my awesome mods. Oh, Janet put in a link to Devin right there. So, all right, guys, y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you over there. Bye, guys.